Tell me all those dirty, dirty secrets.
If she was okay with me doing it too.
Yeah, why? Because she's the star of the family?
Because she'll come up with, I'm sure she's going to come up in conversation, so I want to make sure I wasn't going to. She's at that age where the parents embarrass her a little bit.
Well, of course, of course.
Right now it's Mom more than it is me, so I got to pass.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday, August 20th. Wednesday, August, this fucking year's flying by fast. It's going real quick.
Real quick.
Wednesday, August 20th edition of the Shovelhed podcast, and my guest today is Douglas Puhl. He is Jasmine's father. Jasmine is the bass player for Maximum Friction, who you guys, if you're a Shovelhed fan, you have seen us champion those kids. They're a hard rock, heavy metal under 20 band, and they're. If you've followed us throughout any period of time during the years, you know that we especially champion the kids. We love to see the kids taking on real musicianship, like playing and writing and singing, and not relying on electronics and AI and all those other things. And I don't know, what, 5 years ago? At least five, right?
Jaden's been with them almost 5 years.
When
now,
did I meet you guys? It's been at least 5 years, I think, right?
I can't remember exactly. When I started following Shovelhed because I like what you guys. Honestly, it was Journey.
The Journey
song, because I don't particularly like Journey, and you were up there doing Journey. I'm going, I like this.
That's Patrick. I'll give that to Patrick because he makes it heavy.
Yeah. Well, and your vocals too. It's not Steve Perry.
It's not Steve Perry, but it's close.
Yeah. Steve Perry's great, but
he's not heavy enough. He's too soft, and I put a little bit of more,
grit onto
this Perry. My whole thing really about inviting you on. So when I invited Doug, he was taken aback because he was like, "Why the hell would you want to interview me and not like my kid or something like that?" And for me, the reason why I wanted to have you on was because I look at your relationship with your daughter and the way that you champion her musicianship and her abilities and her want and need to do it on a professional scale. Like, you're 100% behind it.
110
behind it. Actually, let me do this. They can still hear me talking while we're going here. And that is a quality that it's very difficult to find in parents because when your kid is a drummer or your kid is making a racket in the house, a lot of parents look at it more like a hobby. Or my father always used to say, you need to have a backup plan. You can't take this seriously. And and over the last few years, man, you take her everywhere, to play everywhere, and experience it all of it. And what drives you to drive that?
Oh, honestly, I started bringing her around everywhere as soon as we had her.
Yeah.
So I'm a big local music scene supporter, so I'd be out doing what I do. I did a lot of videotaping back then, so I'd go into a place, set up a bunch of video cameras, and I'd take it home later on, and 4 or 6 camera worth, and I would edit it together. A lot of times, she might have been at that show if it was appropriate for her to be there, or she was sitting in my lap watching me edit it.
Okay.
So she's sitting there watching all this stuff, and she just kind of absorbs everything a lot. Right. I mean, she's like a sponge with that stuff. So she would be taking all that in, and eventually we're at a show. As a matter of fact, here, Todd Deason's in Jane's Affliction now.
Yeah.
He used to be in a band with some friends of mine. Rocky was one. The drummer was a friend of mine, Melinda Alina. What was it called? Elegant Mess.
Okay.
So next thing you know, Jasmine would be up on stage with tambourine or something like that. I even got a picture of behind Johnny Q's, Todd was like got down on his knees and started jamming to Jasmine while she was pushing a baby carriage.
Oh, wow.
So she just kind of fell into it naturally from all that.
Right.
It just, next thing you knew, she was wanting to do more. She also plays violin, so there was that too.
Did she start on violin?
She started on drums.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
briefly, she had a drum lesson from a friend of mine. We got her, well, let me see. Let me go back a step. One day I was on a lounge chair at my in-laws' house, and she was on the piano, and she was making stuff up, and it seemed like it made sense, and if she hit something that didn't sound right, she backed up and fixed it, and she was like 3 at the time.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't know.
She saw the math, probably didn't realize there was math involved in it, but she saw it way early.
She saw something.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said to Susie, I said, I think we need to start sticking instruments in front of this kid. And we had keyboards and they had pianos, so the next one that seemed to make sense to me was drums, because all kids like to hit stuff.
Sure.
And so my buddy gave her a drum lesson, and we videotaped that drum lesson. And then when it came time to enroll her in a school, they went to UB Kinsey's School of the Arts. And it was my mother-in-law and my wife, and they asked about her talents, and my mother-in-law goes, "Oh, wait," and she pulls out that video and shows them that, and that's how she ended up getting a spot in UB Kinsey.
Oh, wow.
She went to violin.
Okay.
She still plays violin now.
I tell you, what amazes me about her is her complete, although being her dad, you probably see the other side of her, obviously, but she seems fearless. You know, so what if you guys are not familiar with Maximum Friction, please look them up and check out the way Jasmine plays. She is at how old is she?
She'll be 17 next month.
17. Completely confident singer, completely confident bass player. She looks like she's having a fucking ball every time she's up there playing, and for somebody so young to grasp the performer aspect of it naturally, it's a beautiful thing to see from somebody like me who can recognize that early, that it took me years to develop what she has naturally. And I envy that in her. She's fucking when I down here, for those of you guys that are not in the Florida area, we have an artist around here, female bass playing artist called Jasmine Kane, that does a lot of touring in the southern states and more of the biker rallies, and she has a very large fan base and a very consistent tour schedule. That's what I see Jasmine becoming quicker than it probably took Jasmine to get there. Jasmine Kane.
I think Jasmine Kane's on the same bill with us at that biker.
Cody River Bike. I just saw that this morning.
I didn't. Yeah, I've never seen her.
Vern
live.
Dazel's on it. You guys are on it. I think that is it for local bands that are on that bill. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Have you met her yet?
Jasmine Kane?
No, yeah.
No.
Oh.
I haven't even seen her live.
So let's find out. I'll look at the thing. If it's the same day, if you're both on the same day, I will send a message I'll talk to Jasmine and let her know, because that would be great to have the two of them meet.
I've heard other people say that she reminds
very much
of a
so,
young
because Jasmine Kane's a lot of energy, and she's a singing vocalist. She's a multi-instrumentalist. She plays piano as well, and probably a great. I tell you, it would probably be a really good sit-down conversation for Jasmine and Jasmine.
I could see that
to sit down and talk, because Jasmine Kane leans on the heavy side of things as well. Actually, I think your jazz listens to heavier music than Jasmine Kane, but Jasmine Kane's not afraid to do let the bodies hit the floor or something like, you know.
Jazzy was she listens to actually a lot of pop.
Does she?
Yeah,
yeah. I would be surprised, because I'm assuming I'm assuming that kid's musical collection consists of like fucking Anthrax and Metallica and Slayer and yeah.
And it also includes some pop music, and I think she likes Billie Eilish. I don't know if that's pop or what.
I don't know what that is. I want to. I said to myself once that I would sit down and give the Billie Eilish and the Taylor Swifts and the Jelly Rolls a chance. And I bought the Jelly Roll album because I figured I'd identify with the Jelly Roll before I would a Taylor Swift or a Billie Eilish. And it's okay. It's just not my cup of tea, and I don't know that. I don't think that I could sit down and actually listen to an album of Taylor Swift or an album of Billie Eilish or any of that. And most of the new stuff I don't think I can listen to. It's not musical enough.
There's some like dark pop out there too. Like the lyrics aren't like what you would hear from Britney Spears or something like that, I guess.
Although I don't know, man. Britney's kind of nuts lately.
Yeah, well, going back a ways.
I enjoy Britney now more than I enjoyed Britney then.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Yeah, that's always kind of cool.
What gigs do the kids have coming up?
Coming up, we got Home Away from Home, Matthews Brewery on August 30th.
Okay.
With the Scream Queens opening and the Love Cats. It's a Cure tribute headlining.
Okay.
I've never seen the Cure tribute, but I heard it's good.
Yeah.
The Scream Queens we've been friends with for a while. It's a horror punk.
Yeah. I've seen some of their videos. Now, I haven't seen them live, but I've seen some videos.
They're fun and they're nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, their drummer was just actually at my house this morning. I had a trailer I was getting rid of, and he came and grabbed it.
Oh, I saw that. It was like if you have a work in progress, if you need a work or some, if you
a project,
a project, yeah, that's what it was. And actually, I was looking at it thinking, but I'm like, no, I got no place to put it.
Yeah, I was doing it, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I got to get this thing fixed, and I'm looking over, and I said, I got a fence that's all the way down to. I said, I don't even have time to do this. I said, yeah, somebody's got to get this out of here.
Yeah, right. The what I'm happy to have seen with the kids too is now that they've gotten in on a rotation with Vic over at OCC. So, I kind of like the fact that he knows when Joey Belladonna's here to grab the kids and put them on the bill.
We didn't get it we didn't get it this past time, actually.
You didn't?
No, we got Nico.
Yes, that I saw, which was great.
I think the Joey show came up afterwards, and they were too close. The shows were too close together to put them on both bills. Is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Gray's good. I think you're playing with them on.
Gray, they're playing with my Black Crowes band. They're opening the show on next month, September 7th.
Good times.
Good times, which should be. It should be interesting because I've never been to the venue, but I've checked the page out, and the stage looks nice.
Venue's nice. We went there and played there on a Wednesday.
Oh yeah. You just did that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Nice people, nice stage, sounded great.
Yeah.
Stage is nice and big. You got room. And then we went and watched the Cinderella tribute up there too.
Made of Metal guys, right? Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to go. Well, Susie's got relatives up that way, so we went up there and visited some relatives.
Yeah,
dropped some merch
kind
off.
of the beauty about Florida gigs is, especially when they're always like a couple of hours away from the house, is you make friends and or have family in every little aspect of the area. So there's always somebody to visit.
Susie's got family everywhere, a lot more than I do.
Yeah, especially like if you need a place to stay. I have some family up in Daytona that are always like, if you need any place to stay, you can stay here, blah blah blah. Bike Week, Biketoberfest this year, I got to find a place up there because our schedule for Biketoberfest is it's fucking crazy, and
I saw it.
Yeah, we doing like Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Thursday and Friday we play 3 shows in Daytona. Then Saturday we go all the way to Port Charlotte, do an evening show in Port Charlotte, and then all the way back up here on Sunday for a show at Space Coast Harley Davidson, which isn't bad. It's like 4 gigs in 3 days, and my voice can hold out. It's the Bike Week one when it gets to like 6 or 7 or 8 shows in the fucking week, and I'm like, oh, it's just too much.
That's when you just shut up after each gig.
Yeah, I do that now. Now, you know, at my age now, I don't recuperate like I used to do when I was a kid. So, in fact, it's funny because we did Saturday this past weekend. We played outside, and it was so hot that and so physically draining that Sunday we played another gig in Fort Lauderdale, and on Monday, man, I couldn't fucking move. Like, my body was just said, don't do shit, and I didn't. I went to the bank, I paid the guys, I went to the bank, and that was it, you know. At my age now, I used to be able to, you know, we'd gig it until 4 o'clock. In New York, the bands didn't start until 10. You played until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Holy
then
shit.
You had to break down. You know, and if you were working on a Sunday, you were breaking down. You'd be at home by 5:30. You'd be up by 7, you know, to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, or going to work at 8 o'clock in the morning because it took 2 hours to get to work.
Kind of sounds like my schedule in the 80s, but I wasn't playing.
Yeah,
I was
but
probably watching somebody play and drinking.
Yeah, right. But isn't it amazing how when you're young like that, your body just resiliently bounces back the next day? Now, man, in the morning when I wake up, it literally takes me a fucking hour to get my shit together.
I'm a landscaper. I can't do it. I can't do the heat now. Last year was a little rough, and just today, last couple of days, I've been out, and it's like I don't think I have it anymore.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. My wife, she will stay inside in the air conditioner all day, and I do all my work outside.
That I'm fine with. I'm just talking about the sun and 110.
Well, and doing the work, out in the sun. See, now that's a whole different thing. Even here, if I do yard work, I either do it before 10 a.m. or I do it after the sun goes down, because it's too fucking much.
That's what I do at my house.
And when I was a kid, though, when I grew up in Texas, I was 10 or 11 or something like that, and I had a job working for a horse ranch, and I would do all kinds of shit outside all day, like 8-9 hours the whole day long, and not think about it. You know, you'd come home, you'd eat dinner, and then you'd play, and you'd wake up the next day and go and do it again.
Irrigation work I can do right now. It's nice and cool.
Yeah.
I had my granddaughter out doing 12 hours worth.
Really?
Yeah. She got to drive the golf cart all day, so she was pretty happy.
How old?
8.
8. For 12.
She's been at the Shovelhed shows over there at when you did the Christmas in July.
At Earl's.
Yeah, you met my daughter. You said, I don't know who you are, but you're related to him.
Oh, yes, because I could tell by her face. Yeah.
That's Jasmine's older sister. She goes 16. The next one up is 30.
Is 30?
Yeah.
Wow.
Susie and I
had some time in between there.
Susie had 3 when we got married. She had 2 boys and a girl. The boys, I don't remember their ages now, but the girl was 11 when we got married. The boys were 15 and 17 maybe. And I had 2 girls. That was Ashley and Amanda. Ashley was 11, and I think Amanda was 9 at the time. And then Jasmine, we actually adopted eventually. So
yeah.
So we have yours, mine, and ours, sort of.
Yeah. Yours, mine, and ours. That's the typical American blended family. Yeah. Jasmine came, Jasmine's biologically our grandniece, and Susie and the niece, or her niece, were pregnant at the same time, actually. And Susie was pregnant with twins, because we wanted to have children together. And, she's in her 40s, so it didn't work out. And then a bunch of stuff happened. By the time Jasmine was 5 months old, she needed someplace to go, and we were asked, and I was like, how in the world do you say no to that? Yeah, right, exactly.
After that, I said, that's the universe telling you need to do this.
Yeah.
So we said yes, and she literally went through a thing calling me Doug. That was her first word, was Doug.
Doug.
And then it was Uncle Doug, because I'm her uncle. We didn't tell her that anything different at first, you know. And then she started calling me Uncle Daddy out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
So she one day decided I was her dad.
Nice.
So she started calling me Uncle Daddy, which seemed kind of weird, especially having a little kid yelling that at you, going to the store.
Yeah, and living in the South.
Yeah. I was like, stop. Can you just call me Daddy, okay? And she, yeah. So that's how that worked out.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. There was a time in my life where I considered adopting too. I have 2 boys, and at some point in there we had considered it, shortly, but I wish more people would adopt. There's a lot. This country has a lot of children that could really, I don't know. They just needed a fucking adult to foster some greatness out of them. Does her? She's a twin, you said, right?
No, Susie was pregnant with twins. She lost the twins.
Oh,
Jasmine.
Oh God.
So that's how when her niece was pregnant, they would have been the twins, and Jasmine would have been like, I think 2 months apart or something.
Oh, okay.
But that didn't work out. So, like I said, when they asked us, can you take care of her? We said yes.
Yeah. I probably would have done the same thing. Right now, I'm happy to be the father of fucking animals.
Yeah,
not have children anymore.
This is my last project, man. I swear.
Yeah, you say that now.
I know. I've been 32 years of raising kids.
The minute that she claims her independence, you're going to be like, I need something to do. What do I do now? Or pray that she finds stardom prior to gaining her independence, so that you can
she's
go along for the
she's
ride.
Gaining her independence now as we speak. She just all of a sudden, I don't know, a light went off in her head, and she took over the website.
Oh,
and a bunch of stuff. She made the band's EPK.
She did herself, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's been sending it out to everybody.
Oh, good for her.
Asking people who to send. I mean, she's met some people. She knows the guys at Power Station,
right?
Send it over.
I'm glad you guys recorded there. So Shovelhed had gone into the Power Station at Patrick's behest, which is in Pompano, right? Pompano?
Yes.
Yeah, Pompano. And we recorded those 4 songs that are on the Shovelhed website, and I love the entire experience at Power Station. Was completely unbelievable.
Guys.
They knew exactly what they were doing. And a few months ago, Doug had sent me a message, asked me about them, and ended up going there, and knowing that it was going to be expensive. When he went, they're not. It's a more expensive studio, but totally worth it, because the quality that you get is amazing. And when you sent me that stuff, I was like, holy shit! I was lucky. I got to hear the rough mixes as they were being done, and god damn, he did a great job. I mean, the kids did a great job, but Paul really did a great. Paul, the engineer mixer there, is fucking great. He really is. He's got great ear. Yeah, I
didn't expect it, but
I didn't expect it either.
But my God, yeah.
And when I met him, I was like, and this is terrible because I'm a human, and this is the way humans react. Is he has a slight speech impediment, so I was like, I thought maybe he was hard of hearing, and I'm thinking I'm going to let him mix my shit, and then I heard him mixing while we were recording. Like, he was EQing things so fast and on the fly while we were recording that I was like, God damn.
Yeah, I was watching some of that myself.
And that's something I can't do. I find that aspect of the music business to be a challenge, and it takes a completely different set of skills, hearing, and understanding to know all of the mixing. All of the, I can't wrap my head around compressors, on what you put on vocals, what you don't put on vocals. I can do some minor stuff recording at home, but the actual producing of things, I suck at. I'm terrible at it.
The band had a pretty good idea what they wanted to sound like, too, because I know the first thing that came off they weren't really happy with, so they went in and said, hey, we need to fix this. This isn't what we want to sound like.
Oh, wow.
So some changes were made, and that was the template that was used going forward after the changes were made.
Oh, okay. It's fucking sounds great, and it sounds heavy, and it sounds,
think of the lyrics and the pop.
Yeah.
That's where the poppiness comes in. It's like Joey Belladonna was a pop singer before Anthrax.
Yeah, and it's just why he's having fun doing what he's doing now. Yeah. I think a lot of guys. So, like, for me, never sang in a pop sense until more recently. Like, I've spent most of my life singing hard rock and heavy metal and, you know, or something in between there. And it really wasn't until the last couple of years that I started getting myself away and listening to, as a vocalist, to more poppy type of stuff. Because vocally, it's a different animal. There's when you're a hard rock singer, there's one type of way to sing. When you're singing more poppy stuff at lower volume levels, it's a whole other animal, but it's an art. And important thing for the kids to do is definitely be able to meld the two. Like, if you can make heavy pop music, it's what all the kids today want.
She found a vocal coach finally that was female, which was hard to find, that could teach her the classical type of singing and the growl. And
to do both.
She wants to do both. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's smart. If you watch, does she? I don't know what she pays attention to some of the female vocalists out there, but there's a lot of female growlers.
She does. She's been looking at some of that, I believe. I mean, honestly, that's a conversation to depth in with her a little bit.
Well, it's a skill that is great because it develops both a high and a low register.
Yeah.
Where most females stick in a mid-range to a high register and they don't develop the low. The getting the guttural part will help her develop her low.
She's been pretty good with the low over the years. She's lost a little bit of that since she's gone a little bit high.
Yeah.
It's gotten higher, but it's still there. So
yeah, but to see the pop. So if you're talking pop, the higher, melodically higher you go, the more popular it's going to be. And if you just look at time, if you look at music over time, it's people, for some reason, there's that higher register in a vocal, like a Steve Perry, Katy Perry, fucking Axl Rose, Robert Plant.
Yeah, right.
You know, most of these singers have this, Mariah Carey, have the Christina Aguilera, have this amazing high register, and it's what most people seem to resonate to. And even for me, as a singer, as I've developed over the years, I use the higher registers as my my goals. So I'll find a song that is way out of my fucking register range, and I will work on it, even if it takes me 2 or 3 years to get myself to that pitch level that I can do it without having to do a falsetto. Women can do that fucking naturally, and the higher she can develop her pitch, the easier she'll be able to sing any kind of fucking music. Any kind.
I think she's writing it in a higher register than she's able to reach on purpose at some stuff.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, she's like, this is just a little bit out of my range, but let's do it.
Yeah, well, so your vocal cords are just like a muscle. Well, they are a muscle. And just like anything else, I mean, I tell myself all the time, I'm like, I am this fucking skinny, like 170 pound, 6'4" fucking guy, and I say, if I sat down for a fucking month or 2 months or something, I might get some cuts on my arms if I worked out, because it's a muscle, but I'm too lazy to do it.
Me too.
But vocally, you know, it's the same thing. The repetition of constantly working on it, resiliently builds you to another level. Remember, did you play any sports in school, high school?
Yeah. Well, yeah, baseball, wrestling.
So like you did the workouts, and can you remember when you were growing up, like the next day, how sore your body would be after?
I can remember that.
Know?
Yeah.
Vocal cords the same fucking way. You know, Saturday night. Sunday morning when I woke up, I had a very hoarse voice, and my wife was like, "You gonna be able to sing today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." You know, within an hour or so, the hoarseness goes away, but that's just because it's the resilience of my body, always being able to do that, and I work my voice on a constant level.
We didn't understand all that when she wanted to sing, so she's kind of young doing some of the stuff she was doing.
Yeah.
So, believe me, we had her into the ears, nose, and throat guy a couple of times to make sure she wasn't doing anything wrong.
Right.
Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And she wanted to feel more comfortable about it. They went in and put a camera down her throat.
Oh, they did an endoscopy. Really?
Made her sing and all that stuff and do this, do that. They said, perfect, go do what you're doing.
Wow,
I was
good
like,
for
cool.
her.
And then all of a sudden you saw some like floodgates open up. All of a sudden she was putting more into it.
Yeah.
Now that she knew she wasn't going to do any damage.
How many vocal lessons has she had?
Oh, I have no freaking idea. A lot.
A lot. Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'll tell you, I think everybody that wants to sing, even as a hobby,
Yeah.
should take vocal lessons just to understand how. You know, there is a excuse me, somebody who's had some vocal training. A lot. You're taught the full body. Like when people say diaphragm, like when I discuss a diaphragm to people who really don't have any knowledge of what a diaphragm is, they're just like, yeah, what, you know, you're talking rocket science to people or some kind of shit. But the diaphragm being the muscle structure of it covers everything. So it covers your stance is very important when you sing because it helps solidify the muscles in your lower abdomen, and your lower abdomen is where your diaphragm rests and helps you push. I don't know how to describe this. It helps you push the air
Through your vocal folds.
in the proper way,
Yeah.
right? And then understanding how to control that, just like anything else. So, like, you know, somebody that can cross their eyes, it took them a little bit of practice on how to do that. Or when somebody can whistle like this,
Can't do that.
I can't.
I've always wanted to.
It's all learning how to do it once and then memorizing how to control it each time you do it, or a whistle. You know, I can remember my poor fucking parents the first time I was learning how to whistle as a kid, and you're like, it's a fucking horrible thing for a while until you could figure out how to get your lips to make the sound that's in your head. And it's the same thing with the body. You know, you have to feel. I know when I'm capable and when I'm not capable to hit certain notes. And like at a live stage, if I am struggling for some reason or another, then I will drop the note purposely, but I don't sing out of key. And that is something that takes a lot of practice for any singer, and it's important to learn that just for save yourself the embarrassment of singing out of key when you're live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sometimes less is more.
Sometimes less is more because, you know, if you save your... when I'm doing 3 hours, which I fucking hate, I hate the 3 hour gig thing, because by the end of the night, you just got nothing left. I have nothing left. I'm done. What it does, though, and I think that every singer should force themselves at some point in their development to go through the cover band scene specifically for the repetition and the grueling nature that goes through with doing 3 1-hour sets of multiple styles of music night after night after night after night, because what that develops for you is you as a kid, you have a favorite, right? When I was young and developing as a guitar player, I had a specific favorite fucking band, and everything that I ever wrote sounded very similar to that specific band.
That would make sense.
You know, but it was only because that's all I was listening to. You know, if I had every fucking Kiss album, and I had one Scorpions record, or I had one of this record or that record, but I had every Kiss album. So a lot of the things that I was writing developed around the Kiss type of structure, where had I been listening to more Sabbath, there might have been more musicality to it instead of more pop sense to it, you know.
Those were my two favorite, Kiss and Sabbath.
Kiss and Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that surprised me when you messaged me and you were like, I'm glad you didn't ask me to do it now because you were emotionally upset after Ozzy died.
A lot, man. Honestly, it was like a family member died, really. Close.
See, I wasn't that huge of an Ozzy fan, so it didn't it didn't affect me like it affected a lot of people I know. Like a lot of people. John, who was on last week from Kiss Alive, it really affected him. It really affected you.
Yeah, I was not myself for a couple of weeks at all.
You remember when did you discover Ozzy?
I was trying to debate on it. I figured 9. May have been a little earlier, maybe 8 or 9.
Do you have older siblings?
No, but what it kind of worked out that way. I had a friend that I lived in a house. My friend's aunt lived next door to me, and he'd come visit his aunt, and we'd hang out when he would visit his aunt. And he brought one of those old, remember those old, just like rectangle tape recorders with one speaker you hit play?
Yeah.
He brought one of those over of War Pigs.
Oh, okay.
And so I was extremely intrigued by what he was playing for me, especially In the Fields of Bodies Burning line just resonated, you know. And we didn't understand what the song was about back then, but that's about when I started listening to Kiss, Black Sabbath, Ted Nugent, Rush, All the World's a Stage was like one of my favorites. They kind of went down a way that I wasn't real thrilled with, but I like their old stuff a lot.
Yeah. Actually, I love their old stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Like,
Caress of Steel, Fly By Night.
Yeah, man.
That's good shit.
Even like Temple of the Sphinx.
Yeah.
All that shit. That the old stuff I loved.
Well, Maximum does that Rush medley. What they do. Well, they don't get into temples because that's going to be a hard one to sing.
Yeah, that's a hard one to sing.
They do the overture going into
I'm telling you, if you
Giada.
have not seen those kids play, you gotta. It's not what you'd expect when I say kids playing. They're fucking like next to virtuistic. All 3 of the kids in the band as a 3-piece, drums, guitar, and bass, and all 3 of them are just super phenomenal.
No backing tracks.
No backing tracks. Well, but you know what? They may go that direction at some point, just because that's the norm of today.
They have one piece that is pretty epic, and it has a violin guitar duet solo in the middle of it. She wants to bring extra musicians on stage to play the song.
To do it live rather than...
And yeah, she wants to play the violin.
Oh, well, that could be fucking awesome.
So she wants a bass player and a good rhythm guitar player for it, and she'll just do vocals and play the violin. But I said use a backing track. She said no.
No. Yeah. I
can't get her to let me use AI on anything. She's right. I said.
Well, look, man. The backing track thing, I totally agree with her, and I think I think she's in. I think that if you're a stalwart believer in creation of music and putting on a live show, I think that staying away from the track thing is very, very important. There's way too much. It just comes off completely non-ingenuous to me. You know, like there's a couple of local bands around here that are constantly using tracks, and it's like tracked vocals and tracked background music and tracked all this other shit. You know, and then the videos, somebody in the crowd is playing the video, and like you could fucking tell. And to me, I'm thinking, why are you representing yourselves in a non-real way? Because when you get put in a position to do it for real, you can't.
I've seen a couple of them doing it, and I'm like, I would think the sound would be a little bit more full from what you guys are doing.
It's totally different.
But it's not even, it doesn't even sound right. It sounds thin, and like, I thought you were doing this to enhance.
Not to make it worse. And to me, it makes it sound worse because you're trying to use a studio track that you've completely produced now. Mm-hmm. And doing it in a live situation in which you're not completely produced, and you're going to use a completely produced track over a non-completely produced live element, you know, so they're never going to match. They're never going to match. It's like using 2 cans of the same color paint and never mixing them and painting the wall, and you've got 2 different shades of blue going up there.
No, that makes sense.
And not for nothing is that if I'm sitting in an audience, now, granted, this is just me. which is why I have to constantly remind people that when I post shit on Facebook, it's my Facebook wall. So I have a right to say my opinion on my Facebook wall, which means at the same time, people have a right to unfriend or unfollow so that they don't have to see my opinion or agree with my opinion. But, you know, I want to, there's a couple of instances here where the Florida scene lends itself to mediocrity. And I explain that in this sense. And people that are born in Florida get upset when I say that. They're like a fucking Yankee, you know, coming here and saying kind of nonsense like this. But it's true. There's been a fostering of mediocrity when it comes to venues and with the bands that are playing here. And it creates an atmosphere of no growth. And then when I see a band like Maximum Friction, who are a bunch of kids under 20 years old, doing it the old school way and excelling at it the old school way, doing all the real vocals, all the real instrumentation, all the real mistakes that go with it, all, you know, part of a musician's growth is fucking up.
Agreed, 100%.
You know, and if you're playing with a track all the time, you're not giving yourself the room in development stages of your playing to fuck up.
I don't know if Jasmine's ever heard your theory on the iPad on the stage thing, but she
don't like that
she
either.
refuses to do it. She'd rather mess up the words.
Well, see, I'm not beyond cheating. I use and the older I get, the bigger the font is. I have a fucking book that I use, and when I can't, you know, when we're learning songs, because Shovelhed we literally live hundreds of miles apart from each other. We don't get to practice that often, like maybe once every other month. We get sick of the songs that we're playing on a constant rotation, and we want to throw new things in. And sometimes I have to learn on the go. Like, I'm not a guy that can sit down with the music and listen to the same song 430 times until I get it all memorized. I need to physically play it and sing it in a live band atmosphere, because I don't want to do the song exactly like the original ever. And it takes the band guy, it takes, like, I could pick any song. I can play the song Remedy with the Shovelhed guys, and I can play the song Remedy with the Eat Crow guys, and it is two completely different songs. Literally, with each band, it's with Shovelhed, it always comes out hard rock. With Eat Crow, it sounds like a rockin' country-ish, bluesy R&B type of song, and the singing on the two of them are completely different. I could never take those two bands and interswap them, because their specialities are completely different. And so when I'm learning a song, for me, I need to feel how that band is going to play the song, because over my years in time, no single band has ever played the song exact.
That would definitely make your vocals come out different too.
Yeah, 100%, you know.
Do you guys, like, I mean, I'm guessing you do from what you're saying, but you got a new song, you go, the first time you are actually playing it, is at a show sometimes?
Sometimes. Dance the Night Away, the first time we ever played it was at a show. And actually, I don't sing the main vocal line correct, 100% correct, like David Lee Roth does, even though it's not a Van Halen song anyway. But I do, and so by not studying the songs but knowing the medley, it helps me to put my own personality into it, because I will sing something a little bit differently, you know, or put my own little spin on it, because I didn't learn it as a mimic. Now, when I do Eat Crow, I have to sing it as close to the real thing as possible. But with Shovelhed, I can put my own identity into it, and that is what has worked for the band from the beginning. Like, each guy in the band knows that they're free to play. They're free to go off. They don't have to stay on perfect mark. Like Eric Neal, he's allowed to put whatever spin he wants on his fucking solos, providing that he stays within the framework of the song. You know, and Eric Stone, same thing with the bass work. He may not play everything exact, but as long as he stays within the framework of the song, put your own spin on it. Patrick clearly does whatever the fuck he wants, and we just kind of follow along with it. You know, but that I find that valuable because
people come to see you. Don't question the miracle.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like for us, I was just Eric and I were just talking about this the other day, and how a band corrects a mistake is so uber important, because I have seen bands do a complete train wreck on stage, and then everybody freaks out and they stop playing, and it's like oh, you know, and you're just, and that draws more attention to it than if this just happened to us as the 4-piece that we are now, that Eric Neal is in the band for a little over a year, was whenever we fuck up, everybody in the band knows pretty much where everybody is going to go within any given song, so much so that when it sounds just the slightest bit off, everyone knows. Everyone in the band knows when Patrick is playing a different hi-hat thing in a song, or if Eric Neal might have missed something, or if my vocal didn't come in on time. But they, as the 4-piece that we are, Eric, Patrick, and me, we know how to take the mistake and meet back up real quick so that everything folds back together. And that doesn't come naturally in every band, and it can't come natural when there's tracks going on, because you're stuck to a parameter when there's tracks going on. So kids are not going to develop the ability to improvise.
One of Jasmine's friends just played that Battle of Bands in Boca.
Yeah,
down in Meisner Park. You know, they ended up winning the under 20. They wanted to win the under 20 check.
Yeah,
and the girl had a equipment malfunction in the middle of something, and she recovered pretty good. Her dad was flipping out. They're never going to win. She did. I'm like, no, dude. I said, it happens. She recovered really well.
Well, see, and that's
and they're going to look at that.
Yeah,
that's actually might have worked out in your favor. I don't know, but right? it could have.
Absolutely, I think it probably could have, because then you get to see how you respond to the pressures of things going wrong. Because in this, as a musician, shit goes wrong all the time. You know,
I just one sound with these guys, and yeah.
The other day, we were at Cagney setting up the PA, and all of my XLR cables are color coded, and Eric's setting up, and he's pulling the XLRs out, and he's like, "Are these special? You know, like, are these for any special? Are they DMX, or, you know, is there a reason why they're color coded?" And I go, "Yeah." It's like, so I can easily trace them out if there's a fucking problem.
Oh my God, we were at the barn and something wasn't working, and the guy, I brought part of the PA, part of it was there, and they brought the sound guy, was how that worked, and something wasn't hooked up right, so mid-set I'm up there trying to
oh my God,
trace something.
I fucking hate that.
And it wasn't none of my stuff, and it's all jumbled together.
Yeah.
And I got my flashlight out, and as soon as it plugged in, just like, boom.
We giggle about it, because when we have whenever there's a new person, and whenever we've brought in a new person, we kind of pay attention to the first time shit goes haywire, because you can learn a lot about the way that the person recovers the problem if they panic, and or if they go through their gear systematically. You can always tell, you know, who has figured out how not to have an anxiety attack on stage. Because the truth is, it happens to everybody. The best way to recover from it is to just naturally let it, you know, don't draw attention to it. If it's something that's unavoidable, turn it into a joke.
That's something that you got hard to teach kids on, not to make the face when they mess up.
Yeah. Or well, there's a lot of faces that you have to teach the kids not to make. I'm never gonna. It's like this. I'll never forget this. My son Austin was about 4 years old, and I took him to Home Depot. And he's like, Dad, I got to go to the bathroom. So I take him to the bathroom. And as we're coming out of the bathroom, in the aisle in front of us is this lady who was clearly over 400 pounds. She was a big woman. And I swear to God, it's the only time in my life that I could see the text bubble coming out of my son's mouth prior to the words coming out of his mouth. And he looked at me and he pointed and he goes, Dad, look at the size of... And I just covered his mouth just fucking in time before he said, look at how fat that woman is. Like a foot behind her. And it's like the same fucking experience of when something gets fucked up. It's a roundabout way to go about talking about that anxiety fact.
Now I have to tell my story about my daughter that you met, Amanda. When she was real young, we were in a Publix, and I wasn't standing right next to her, and all of a sudden a midget walked by.
Oh,
and she was
like, can't say that anymore.
A little person walked by. They're good people, whatever.
Yeah,
if you're a good person, it's all right. But she was same thing though. It was like and I saw it and I ran over and just before she got anything out, I got my hand over her mouth.
Dude, I fucking missed that. That is the one thing that I do miss from my kids was the
mouths of babes.
The first time they curse or the first time that they use a phrase that is an adult phrase and you totally don't expect it to come out of that little person's mouth.
God, I think I finally just heard Jasmine curse in the last year or two, honestly.
Yeah, but she's been hiding it from you for the last 3 years.
Well, that I knew.
Yeah.
She just didn't do it in front of me, which was, I guess it was kind of cool.
17, I'm trying to think of what by the time I reached 17 years old, there's a lot of trouble. Think about you at 17 years old.
I was cursing like a sailor.
I had already smoked my first joint, or 10. I had already drank a case of beer.
Oh, God.
By then, I was already stealing the car at night when my parents were asleep.
Yeah, that was all happening when I was 14.
My kid. Luckily, my kids were boys, and you can. There is a freedom that you feel as a father when you have sons that you don't have. That I could not imagine having if I had daughters. I don't know that I would make it as a good dad to a teenage daughter.
I had 3 teenage daughters in the house.
Yeah, dude, I don't get it. You got to have the fucking patience of a saint.
We had boys in the yard too, because we had girls. So obviously boys were around a lot. But I had the stepsons too, so they would help me look out for the girls.
For the girls, yeah,
they're a little bit older. I mean, there's some interesting stories about chasing boys out of the yard or going to get one of the girls out of somebody's house.
I was one of the boys that got chased out of some people's yards, so I totally fucking get that. Where I grew up in Texas, we had my neighborhood. There were like 20 kids in my neighborhood that were all within the same age group, so we all hung out together. Before school, we'd all get to the bus stop an hour early so that we could hang out together.
Yeah.
After school, we'd all hang out together.
We'd walk to school and
a lot of trouble.
Yes,
a lot of trouble, and that's why I think about the teenage girls in my neighborhood, and I'm like, there is no fucking way I could ever raise a teenage girl. Never in a million years. I would be so overprotective.
And I had an ex-wife, so 2 of them ended up going over there sometimes, and that wasn't I'm glad I'm over all that stuff. They're all good kids. They're all doing good now. They're all off doing their own thing.
Jasmine's your oldest, right?
Youngest.
Yeah. I mean, your youngest, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I got 4 grandkids now too. So
is she thinking about college?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's explored them all a little bit. I think she's doing a lot of musically. She's already doing a lot of what they would teach her there. So I think she's going to go locally, is what she's saying. Maybe business.
Oh, good.
So she knows the business. She wants
She wants
to stay in music for life, but she wants to know
the business ends of it.
She wants to be able to control her
And she is in a changing landscape that that's fucking smart of her, because I don't understand the business anymore. It's like I feel like my father, like, you know, I don't know if your father was ever like this, but your parents at all, but they reach a level of never evolving past a specific technology. You know, like my mother, she didn't, to this day, I don't think she knows how to use a DVD player. So the kids today have a completely different learning curve on how to get their music out there and get the music heard and get seen, and like they got to be social marketing masters at this point. Like, you almost have to go into this knowing how to shoot video, knowing how to edit video, knowing how to record music, knowing how to edit music, knowing how to get it up there, knowing how to get it out there, knowing how to spend the money on the boosting of it, knowing how to create like, that's a lot of shit for a kid to have to deal with.
She just set up, I think I got the third party merch thing from you a while back.
Oh, the Printful thing?
I never had it set up right. She just fixed it all.
The guy Billy from Stella's Basement just set up his too. I sent him there to do it as well, and a couple other people have done it as well. And I'll just make this suggestion to you guys out there too. The website is called printful.com, and basically what the company does is you upload your designs to your store, and you sell direct to garment printing clothing online, and you no longer have to pre-purchase 200 shirts and spend $4,000 on having multiple sizes of things that won't sell. You can just put a QR code up at your gig and tell people, you want to buy a shirt, scan the QR code, goes right to the website. They purchase it on there using either PayPal or Stripe. It gets shipped out within 24 to 48 hours. And depending on where in the United States, I've never had a delivery take more than 5 to 6 days. And then when they get the quality, it's unfucking believable. It's unreal.
She just ordered, since we don't sell them, we have hoodies, black hoodies they sell at shows.
Yeah.
She wanted a blue one, so
she did it through Printful.
She did it through Printful.
Yeah.
So that was the test run to make sure we had everything was working right. It'll be there tomorrow, and she just ordered it a couple of days ago.
It's fucking great. And the thing is, they have plants. They have 5 or 6 different plants. There's one in Mexico. There's one in Indiana. There's one in Kentucky. There's one. So the cool part about it too is that when she sets up the shop, she uploads her logo. Mm-hmm. Okay, and when the package comes, it comes shipped from Maximum Friction.
Oh, cool.
Or, mine, when somebody orders ours, it comes shipped from Shovelhed. So they've thought about the proper way to process this for the working musician. Not only that, but you can set up the site so that you put a custom thank you note into each one. Okay. So when the package comes with the label and your logo on the label. Inside has your merchandise with a thank you note. That's whatever you want to say on the thank you note. And it makes it a more personal experience for me than which I find valuable. Now, the average person may not. Maybe somebody doesn't give a shit when they get the package and it says Shovelhed. But to me, that's.
I think that's cool.
I think it's an important aspect on it. And the T-shirts are such a professional quality that I just said I'm just going to not sell stuff live anymore.
They're still going to do it because I think the impulse buying's there.
The impulse buying is there, and they have you to cart their shit around. Yeah,
so, well, they have Jasmine's mom to cart their shit around. Yeah. I'm not very organized. She would freak out if I went through a T-shirt box.
Does she have her license yet, Jasmine?
Her
learner's permit, right?
2 weeks.
She'll have her permit?
No, her license.
Her license. You're fucked. That's it, though.
I'm good with it, man. There's some things I would rather not drive to anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, no, I'm good with her having some independence. I'm pushing 60, man. I mean, she needs to get out there and do some of this. Some of this, she's taking this over. I'm going, Oh, thank God.
Yeah, except that now, see what it'll be is, Dad, I need $20 for gas. I need $20. Actually, $20 for gas doesn't do shit for anybody anymore.
That was the other thing we were telling her, too, is like, hey, man, the gravy train's going to run out here. You need to start making some money so you can go, give music lessons. You can make something with this band. You go work at Publix,
Yeah.
So all of a sudden she got in gear. It's like, well, let's make some money with this damn band.
Reality, yeah. And that's the
hard part.
It's so hard. I'll tell you what, it's not hard for a talented band to make good money. It's hard for a talented band to convince a lot of venues to spend good money. You hear me bitch about it, quite often, but my bitching comes from the side where I want and expect a premium. I don't, not less, because I did exactly what those kids are doing, is spending all of their available fucking time learning their instrument and learning the art and learning the business and learning. There's so much in it.
The marketing. We look at you guys with marketing a lot.
I know you do, and
I took to heart when you I think you said once, if people aren't showing up to your shows, it's probably your fault.
Well, it's the truth.
And I would say that. I was like, nobody's marketing. What do you expect? The best band in the world could be there. Metallica could be playing someplace. If you don't know,
nobody's going to be there.
Exactly.
And that is that's the big part about the venues and bands that I see being a problem, is that you'll notice that when the venue is struggling, it's because they're not advertising, or they're not marketing properly, or or it's a culmination of a couple of things. They're not offering anything that is original for them from the place down the street, and they're not marketing. And so, if I don't know that you've got live music, I'm not gonna. The only way I'm gonna know then is if I drive past you and I hear music, coming from your establishment. So if you're not out advertising it, I don't know. So it's up. It becomes a necessity for the band to learn how to advertise.
There's really no promoter, people that just promote shows around here. So
no, because there's no money
everybody.
in it. So when I was booking gigs for bands, I was getting, I was getting a lot of phone calls from bands that want you to book, and there are these bands that are like, well, we'll play anywhere for $600, and you look at that and you say, okay, if I was working as a booking agent, 10% or 20% of $600 isn't enough for me to make a phone call.
No,
so I understand that you want a booking agent because you want to not have to take on that responsibility, because it sucks calling and emailing and waiting and calling and emailing and waiting, and that I hate the booking aspect of it, but it's a it's necessary to learn, because not every band deserves a gig. Not every band deserves to be heard. Not everybody should get a participation trophy, and rejection is kind of part of understanding of the game. I see guys all the time posting shit, why can't I ever get a return message from so and so and this club and that club and the other club and this. It's because they don't understand the encompassing part of the business nature, is that poor guy that you sent your email to is getting that from 700 other people. He literally, when I was booking and I would open up my fucking email, there would be 150 emails. Every single goddamn Monday, 150 emails of people that wanted a book or want you to look at their EPK, or you ask for you want specific information, and the band will send you not the specific information, and then when you don't reply to them, then they'll send 15 emails asking you why you ignored them. Well, because you didn't send me the information I asked for the first time. So I don't have time to fucking now go back and forth to you 7 times in an email and say, send me your EPK. Why do I got to say, send me your EPK? You should have just fucking sent it to me the first time. So the kids learning how to run the business end of it before they even step foot out there booking their own gigs, it's worth its weight in
Well,
gold.
she did 2 festivals at my house.
Right. I saw some video of that.
Yeah, it was like 150 kids coming to my house. I was a little nervous on both accords, but it was kind of testing the waters, so I believe we're going to do a bigger one in October.
Okay.
My neighbors seem to be okay with everything.
And if she's willing to do the work.
She did most. I ended up having to do a little, I told them, there's a group of them that are going to come over and they're going to talk and take on specific duties.
Right.
Because, I'm not going to lug gear out to the backyard this time. You guys are doing it.
Not unless you charge a $5 cover and Dad gets 100,
Yeah. I was telling you guys can come set everything up. We got the gear. If you need me to run sound, I'll do that.
See, that's great because I always had to do that kind of shit when I was growing up at somebody else's house. That's not true. That's not true because my parents used to let me practice. I had a really big driveway, and as long as we didn't practice in the house, we could practice on the driveway.
I think they should almost too. Like they got a lot of schools. They got schools out there teaching kids how to play, but I mean, there's some kids that like the movie School Rock.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be in the band to be in the band.
Well,
so then they learn lighting and all that stuff.
That's the funny thing is I have always thought about like I could take this podcast thing, I can make it more professional if I had a camera person.
Right.
But then I think about that situation. I'm like, well, who the fuck wants to be the camera person? Like most people don't want to be the guy behind the camera. They want to be the guy in front of the camera or the girl in front of the camera. And so, when you're working with someone who doesn't have, like when someone is kind of narcissistic like myself, you enjoy being in front of the camera and you learn how to create this part of your personality that you can do public things. And then the person that, and you always think, you're always yearning for a little bit more attention. I'm always looking for more ways to bring more attention to my fucking self or more attention to the band or more, because all attention is good attention. The guy behind the camera does not give shit about that. And I don't understand that mentality. So I always think, man, it would be fucking great if I could, like yesterday I did the podcast I did a surprise podcast at the record store, and I fucking loved it. I loved the way that it came out because it's the same as this. It's casual, but now you've got props guiding the conversation in a different direction, and it would have been fucking awesome to have a cameraman, but not every camera, and I have never found a person that wants to be the behind the scenes guy. Because that wants to be the behind the scenes person as much as I want to be the in front of the scenes person, so that 2 people can partner on it, and I could be like, all right, let's go to the record store at 12 o'clock today. We're going to do this every fucking Tuesday at X amount of, it's hard.
I honestly was that guy with the video thing for a while. I would rather just do something like that.
Tommy, my buddy Tommy Shutters, the guy that does the he does Earl's Hideaway website and part of their Facebook page and
stuff. Is that the guy that sets up the cell phone cameras everywhere?
Yeah.
I know he is.
He's like that. He is big into the technical side of shit. And I would love to be able to just call him up constantly and be like, all right, here's the schedule, this is what we're going to do, you're going to run the cameras. He would love it in the sense that he'll figure out a way to monetize it. Like his AI knowledge right now is years beyond what I can work with graphics, and that's it. He knows, he has got his shit down as far as how to use AI to build websites, how to do marketing research, how to do marketing plans, how to take a podcast and push it to outlets that you wouldn't think. He just knows his shit as far as AI and stuff like that is concerned. And one of these days I'll get him to follow me around with the fucking camera and do podcasts elsewhere too. It's a hard thing, but that's the other part of the nature of today that is different than when I was a kid. Is like, even your kids, it's something she should think about doing.
She's I think she's starting to work. They were all talking the other day because we had a mother-in-law suite at my place. It's we turned it into a jam room years ago. But I probably have 5 GoPros. I told Jason to do video. I have cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
I said, you guys just need to set this up so that you could do videos.
Bring their friends over and talk about, whatever. Because the kids today, you look at these kids today, everything is about what they can garner on social media, what they can pull on Facebook, and being able to utilize multiple aspects of her talent to sell her talent is just gonna skyrocket.
You got to be self-sufficient, I would think, in the business.
You have to be now.
The more you know, the more you know. And you want to call somebody else to do it for you that you don't know, you can trust yourself.
This is why I think that Taylor Swift is as successful as she is. She's got a good business mind. People think Taylor Swift came into the scene automatically overnight, but she wasn't. She was groomed for this from a very young time. And by the time she reached, the age of now I'm going to reach thousands and thousands of people, she knew a lot of sides of the business. What sells, what doesn't sell, and, using her past boyfriend experiences to create an image around her. All these songs are about her ex. Whatever the bullshit was, it all worked for her, and it was smart and calculated, and that is the way the music business runs. There is way more involved in it than just the music. That's another thing, is that I tell people all the time, like, I have a couple of bands that will come to me to help do their marketing. And I say this constantly when I sit with them. The first thing is, it's more than the music. It takes more than the music. Because the music alone is not going to draw people's attention. So what captivates people when they see Maximum Friction is that they're kids with excellent skill that can play better than most adults twice their age can do on any given day of the week. But at some point, they're just like Hanson. They're going to grow up, and so they have to develop the skill that pushes them beyond being the child star. Because what happens when you hit 20? When you hit 20, now you watch people like, and I hate that. This is why I could never have a daughter. So you see someone like the Christina Aguileras or the Britney Spearses or the Sabrina Carpenters, for today's reference, of kids that started their career as kids, child actors or child musicians and things, and then all of a sudden they reach this point where it's now sexual. As soon as they hit that 20s or their 21s and they start, you're no longer jailbait, so now they sell their sexuality. That's why I couldn't ever be a dad.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Because how do you navigate around that? How the fuck do you navigate around?
We're watching a bunch of kid bands. I'll tell you what.
It should be about my music. It shouldn't be about my sexuality.
I've seen some, kids underage that shouldn't be doing what they're doing.
No, there's a lot of them, dude. And here's the
cool.
fucked up part about it is I was talking about this yesterday with Ray and Eric. Is we're living in this society that it's the GoFundMe OnlyFans society, where anytime that there is a fucking immediate problem, you're out looking for money without having to do any work for it. And that is what this society is building itself into. And so when you reach when the landscape changes, the kids don't want to work. They want to be fucking influencers, and they want to go around doing interviews on boardwalks with, asking girls what their body count is, and there's like all these. You see these reels of these fucking idiots, right? And so this is what they're doing to make money. It's shock video to make money. Now, what happens when the reality set in? If, let's say, for some fucking reason tomorrow we had a blackout. Right, and now they lost their ability to generate an income because they can't get online anymore. They don't know how to cook their own fucking food. Don't know how to drive a stick shift. Don't know, like,
that's that whole that's 16
the whole generation is lost, man. All I got to do is write letters in cursive, and I'm going to they're going to have to go out and buy a fucking dictionary to try to figure out what I'm writing because they think it's in code.
It's funny as you're saying this. I remember what we were like when we were younger. We all worked.
I worked when I was 10. I was working.
Too. Yeah, I always did. My parents didn't give me any money.
No,
I was lucky to get money for school clothes.
My father owned 2 Burger Kings, and he had.
Cool.
When there was a period of time where my family was very well off. I never got shit. We still had to work, and it was $5 a week allowance or some shit
Something like that.
Not like these kids today.
No, give me money. Give me money. Yeah, I got my granddaughter. Papa, cut $5.
Yeah, or do you remember like when the first video games came out in television and Atari and ColecoVision and shit like that? The video games were $25, and a $25 video game, like, was a Christmas present. You didn't get it during the year, 30 or 40 of them during the year. You got 1 or 2 for Christmas, and that was it, If
I was lucky.
Nowadays...
I might get the school clothes for Christmas.
Yeah. Or nowadays everything is throwawayable. Everything is throwawayable. Your TV is only $500 now because when it goes bad, you just go get another one for $500. Our entire society is kind of built that way. Like even these live streaming lights, the construction on them is that if anything ever goes wrong with it, fucking throw it out and go get a new one. Where in the old days it'd be something that would be in my fucking attic that would be passed down to my grandchildren. They'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
I have some of these somewhere.
Do you?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
You could actually use the stands for. You could put another adapter on.
Oh,
use it as a camera.
All kinds of
stand and
shit.
Stuff.
Yeah. I found other ones in the thrift store a couple of weeks ago. I was at Habitat for Humanity, and they had a couple for sale, but they wanted $90 a piece for them, and I was like, fucking used? No, I'm not paying. I got these for $90 for the pair.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not that expensive.
But everything is that way. Everything.
It's a throwaway society.
Musical equipment, fucking cars, electronics, everything is throwawayable. How is it that I could go buy a Pac-Man machine for $300?
Our chainsaws that we use at work are pretty much
throwawable.
Yeah, I don't repair them.
I bought a Dremel for $19 fucking dollars, dude. Knowing... Now, granted, I could have bought a more expensive Dremel as I went on, but I figured for $19 fucking dollars, if it breaks, I could just go buy another one for $19. But we should never think that way. Used to be, my father, when I was growing up, was always like, go buy Craftsman because it's got a lifetime guarantee.
They're not there anymore.
No. And you can't, but the quality was lifetime guarantee. And the truth behind that was anytime I ever broke a fucking Craftsman thing, I could go into any Sears store without a receipt, bring them a broken Craftsman thing, and they would replace the broken Craftsman thing. That's the way the American...
I knew guys that went into pawn shops looking for them.
Yeah.
And they'd find a bunch of Craftsman tools, and they'd go into a Sears and get new ones.
Yeah, man, it was worth its fucking weight in gold. But, nowadays, every... and here's another thing that I think the reason why it sits on my mind so much is here in Florida, if you're on 95, you can pass 4 or 5 different landfills in a 2-hour period. And you see them, and it looks like this enormous pyramid.
Mount
in
garbage.
5,000 years, they're going to excavate it and be like thinking it was a pyramid, and it's not. It's all this garbage, but it's all this throwawayable shit. All the throwaway, and we've done nothing but create more and more throwawayable shit. And that's because we've outsourced everything out of the country.
I think you kind of... I remember reading an article where one guy said that if our stuff was built to last now, our whole economy would falter.
If our stuff was built to last, I think that our entire country would fall to pieces.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, because we're consumers.
That's what we've been created. So you go into this, and this is every aspect of this. Go into foods. Go look at foods.
Oh God!
Right now, I'm convinced that if you took a 10-year-old right now and you brought them into a supermarket and you asked them where does beef come from, they would tell you it comes from that square package over there. I think we've reached this point where mass farming is just like everything else. We've created the Walmart society. Mass food, mass furniture, mass everything. There's no craftsmanship behind things.
The mediocrity factor.
Yeah, like these fucking chairs, the chairs you're sitting in.
I like
these
this chair, actually.
These were handcrafted.
This is comfortable. I was like noticing the way my arms sit in it and stuff.
It's a fucking. I bought them at a thrift store, dude.
You know,
I got these at a thrift store for $80 a piece, but I was because they look like
thrones,
little
thrones,
and I was like. You could never find something like this in a store. Remember when you were a kid and your parents would take you to an actual furniture store to buy furniture? You go to even Ashley Furniture or whatever these fucking places are now, and it's still mass-produced Chinese shit. It's not quality like when we were kids, you know?
My grandparents had the same furniture that they bought after they got married until they died, you know?
Did they have plastic on it? Mine were Italian.
Grandma Puhl would have. Grammy and Grandpa Keenan, no.
My grandfather died in '96, and
I was 97.
Yeah, and his wife died in the '70s, and when in her '70s, in the '70s, and for 30 years, he still had his house, and for those 30 years, he never changed anything in it, and nothing. From when my grandmother died, who had never changed anything in the house for the 20 years that she lived in the house. So you would walk in the room, and to the left was the dining room, and no one was allowed in the dining room. It was a sitting area with a couch, and then a table with a china cabinet and all this stuff. And she had plastic on everything. Everything was covered in plastic, and then there were these plastic runners on the carpet so that you didn't even walk on her carpet. You had the plastic runners.
I had that, Grandma.
When he died, it was the fucking same. Nothing. You moved things, and there was 30 years worth of dust, like, moved from the place. But all those things, man, were hand-built, handcrafted, imported, but handcrafted or whatever, and we don't get anything like that.
My dad's parents actually, my dad's dad, he was a World War II vet, but he worked at Sears all of his life after that, like selling appliances or selling furniture. So they had all that stuff, but they were the grandparents of the plastic.
Yeah.
My other grandparents, my grandfather was actually like one of his first people in the country with his doctorates in music.
Oh.
And he was the dean of Duquesne University's music school. I remember it from when I was like 5, but they also had a farm in Greene County, PA at the same time, which was kind of cool. So they raised cattle there.
Oh, that's cool.
So they definitely weren't the grandparents with the plastic on their furniture.
Yeah, right.
They're more like whatever, get it dirty kind of grandparents.
you can't run a farm and have plastic on shit.
Yeah, they were all cool. That was cool doing the farm thing when I was a kid.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think it is within your makeup that sparked your child to be a musician?
I guess just my love of the arts. I mean, I dabbled in playing myself, but
does your older daughter play any instruments? Or
no, Ashley. The bass Jasmine started with was actually my daughter Ashley's bass that she got when she was 9. She dabbled a little bit and just didn't take off with it. She actually got into horseback riding a lot, so there was that. Also an expensive hobby.
Very expensive hobby.
Yeah, it's right up there with having a band. But,
that's fucked up. Nobody ever tells anybody how expensive a band is.
It's really expensive.
Really expensive.
If you want to do it, if you want to do it right.
If you want to do it right, that's you're right.
But I was just always around different people. I actually got approached in high school with these guys. They said, "Hey, we're starting a band. You want to sing for it?" And I was like, "Why are you asking me?" They said, "Because you got long hair."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay."
That was the key to a lot of us getting into it.
So we did that for a while, but that was in Pittsburgh. So right after that, I moved to Florida, and I had to get to work and this, that, and the other thing, and all the evils that Florida had with it kind of sucked me in a little bit for a while.
Florida is a very I've had the pleasure of living in 3 states, Texas, New York, and Florida, and each one of them is completely unique to itself. Florida, it's kind of like a vortex of if you could make the Twilight Zone was a state, it would be Florida.
Probably.
I think, for sure. But I'm sure everybody in every state feels that their state is the craziest, but Florida's got some crazy shit going on.
Every misfit all over the world comes to Florida.
Yeah.
South Florida in particular.
Yeah, it's true. It's fucking true, though.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, that's why I ended up down here.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of... It makes... Like, 10 years I've been here. And I honestly... I giggle, like the Florida dumbness, some of the dumb shit that happens here. It's not stuff that angers me. It's stuff that makes me fucking laugh. Even when it comes to politics and political lines, and the stupid shit that the towns do, and there used to be a time where it would all just get me angry. And now, when you live in this state is a beautiful fucking state.
It really is.
To live in.
All but the few hot months out of the year, which I take over the snow up north any day.
Any day. The only time I ever wear a pair of pants, like not shorts, is when I want to wear pants. Not like New York, it's so fucking cold in the winter. You can't wear shorts. Of course my brother does. He'll freeze his ass off out there and wear shorts, but layered up in a thermal shirt, a t-shirt, a jacket, a hoodie, fucking gloves, thermal socks, jeans, boots, and I never want 10 years. I haven't even had to put a coat on.
I freaking bundle up pretty good to go work these days, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm long sleeves all the time.
Yeah, but that's because your blood is thin.
Oh my God. Well, I came down here up north and I was pasty white. I never wore shorts, and then I got the tan going, and we rolled with that for a while, and then all of a sudden became a landscaper and surveyor. I was out in the sun all the time, and the other day, I was driving, and I had a short sleeve shirt on. My arm was starting to hurt from the...
burning, right?
Yeah, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, that's actually... normally, I'm pretty... No, this is still darker. I get dark. I get so dark that I look black. Like, seriously, I'm not saying, that's not... I'm not trying to be racial or anything like that, but I get so dark in the sun that I avoid it most of the time, just because I'd like to not get that dark. It gets so dark that you can't make out my tattoos. You can't,
It's my skin's... I bump into stuff now, and
it hurts.
It cuts easier. I'm like, my grandmother did this at 70. I'm not even 60 yet, and I'm already doing this.
Fucking... Dude, if I wish that there was a written manual that they give you when you're a child to explain growth, the things that happen as you get older, because when you listen to your parents bitching about the aches and the pains and when you wake up in the morning, I actually had to take aspirin this morning because my body aches were so bad.
I got such severe back problems now.
Yeah, it's getting old. It's not fun when you got to go out and spend like $90 on a special pillow, and extra money on a special fucking mattress. And, I got to tape this up, or I can't eat this because it makes me retain too much water, or all these fucking things.
I should be doing that. I don't. I did start using my swimming pool finally, and I discovered that when I swim, that a lot of my aches and pains start going away.
Yeah, when my mom, she had her both of her knees replaced, one at a time, but each time her the physical therapist suggested that she do it in the pool, and my mom was never a pool person. But so what I did was I forced her. I'm like, all right, she was living here with me at the time, and I would get her up in the morning, and I would be like, we're going to the pool today, let's go. Half an hour of your PT in the pool is helpful because it hurts less, but it puts the resistance on the muscle, and it forces you to do the work. you can get more done in less time than you would do if you were just working out outside of water, especially when you're older. That not hurt thing is.
Yeah, I was going to the chiropractor for a while, and just one day I just stopped and I started. My granddaughter Lily got me to. I don't usually swim. We got this pool in my backyard. She started squirting me down with a super sucker one day, and I just said, "Screw it, I'll go swimming." And we swam for a while. And I was like, "I'll be damned, man, my back doesn't hurt anymore."
Yeah, it's fucking. It's another thing that's really weird too. Is I spent many years just waking up with a sore back. And I went out to the store one day, and I was going to get a different head pillow because I'm a side sleeper. And I found this pillow for your legs. It's curved on both sides, so it sits in between your knees.
Okay, I've seen them.
And it like allows. There's about this much space, in between your knee area, and it keeps my hips from closing and rolling, and that was what was causing a lot of problems with my back. And it was like fucking $30, but totally worth it, because now I don't wake up with such bad pains unless I purposely sleep in a weird position.
I've been trying to just do on my back, which I'm a side sleeper too, but I've been trying to sleep on my back so I figure if I'm not twisting myself up, maybe I'm
always afraid if I sleep on my back, for some reason I'm gonna stop breathing. I don't know why.
Maybe.
Because one of my old guitar players had sleep apnea, and I'll never forget that fucking night that he woke up. We were sharing a hotel room, and he woke up in the middle of the night like, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, we knew a guy that died of that, actually, now you mention it. And he had like a 11-year-old daughter and no wife. It was kind of sad.
Crap.
Yeah, now you mention that. That was sad.
What do you got in the, what's in this thing?
Oh, so... Well, we're talking about that. I got to point out that I've had Jasmine, even though I don't play, I've had Jasmine around a lot of people that do. And if I don't know the answer of a question, I tend to ask somebody else that does know how to answer it. Anyways, Raped Ape was actually one of these people.
That's cool.
And their guitar player is actually now a tattoo artist and a painter. And he did this.
That is cool.
I started filming them in 1993 because I got a video camera as a wedding present. Nobody had them back then.
Right.
So I'd show up and start filming these guys, and that's when I kind of discovered I like doing that. So, but we're still friends. That's for you.
Oh, that's fucking cool. Thank you.
So he would have been one of those guys. I have a friend that's named Adam Phillips. He did a stint in a band called Propane, hardcore band.
Yeah, I know.
I'd film him a lot, even doing like playthrough videos, and he's probably one of the most meticulous, it's got to be perfect kind of guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
But as I'm sitting here filming these guys, and the drummer for Raped Ape, JC, was a good friend of mine too.
Raped Ape.
Yeah. I guess the story is the first singer was a mechanic, and it's a slang term for a car that runs fast and loud.
Okay.
And they were a thrash metal band in the 80s.
All right.
That seemed to make sense.
Yeah. Couldn't get away with it today, but you could, yeah.
Jasmine's drummer has a band that he does for fun called Chainsaw Vasectomy.
Oh, okay.
I like the
SOD. You remember those guys?
Oh, yeah. But it's like Adam, when I do his playthrough videos with him, I'm not a player, but you're doing stuff, and he'd be editing this with me. He goes, okay, watch my fingers. Okay, stop it right there, here, or stop it here. And I'm watching these guys' fingers or how they hit things, and after a while, you just kind of figure, well, these guys have been pretty successful, and they're good at what they do. That's probably the right way to do things.
Oh, yeah.
So if I see one of the kids doing something that didn't sound right, I say, that's not right, or I'm seeing what you're doing, I don't think it's right, and I don't know how to tell you to fix it, but call this guy.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that going on over the years. So I guess I'm trying to say there's a lot of local musicians that Jasmine has a lot of local people in her musical DNA that she doesn't even know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was one video of a guitar player I did a lot, and he would do this slide thing. And you kind of arch back and do the snap and go into a slide.
And she does it. Yeah.
And I'm like, and she was probably watching him on stage with us video, or sitting on my lap while I was videotaping him. And you just picked up on it.
Sure, it's just inbred in there. And
yeah.
I get a lot of that. Like when I'm searching for, I'm so used to playing and singing at the same time that when I do things like as just being a singer, I find that I feel naked, like without the guitar, and I have to think about things to do with my body and so that I don't look like I'm just a dude standing there.
Yeah,
you know, and that is what I do. Is I will study other people.
Yeah,
when I see them, I'll be like, oh, okay, maybe I could try doing that or do this or do the other thing. Even when I'm out locally, if I see somebody that captures my attention, I may study them for a little while and just see like, oh, all right, what is this guy doing that's impressing me that I would want to add into something that I do. And I don't even know that if I ever actually do it or if I just become subconscious. That to me I start saying, oh, well, all right. Actually, so something that James Hetfield does is that if you watch James Hetfield's stance, his legs are usually pretty far apart. Yes. And his knees are bent, and he always looks fucking good. And there's a lot of times where I say to myself, while I'm on stage, James Hetfield stands. Like I have to try to tell myself to fucking put myself in a non-comfortable position, but to look cool position. And you don't learn those things unless somebody actually teaches you those things. That's like things like Rocky, having Rocky around to oh God, to train her all these years. He's a gigging musician, and like gigging. How do when I say a gigging musician, most musicians are gigging, but he's a working musician. He's a lifer. Yeah, and when you're dealing with a lifer and somebody who's actually not just teaching for a living, but out there performing, there's a different perspective. Because he knows all the things that need to be taught while you're moving, while you're, there's another aspect to it. He's a guy who's, as he's going to teach you, it may not be direct teaching of what is necessary to make you rise on a local level, but because it's already in his mindset. His training and his teaching and things like that are going to be on that, how to rise on the local level. And I bet you that she got a lot of her makeup from Rocky too. She did
a podcast with Sunshine from Sunshine the Bass Kids. She's out in California, and I mean Jasmine kind of laid down the raw. If it wasn't for Rocky, I wouldn't be doing this now.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a special thing for a musician.
Not only that, he was like, I mean, they're not doing the lesson thing anymore. They kind of parted ways on that for a while. I mean, they're still in touch. If she has questions, she can still call him, and she does. He was not just her music teacher. He was a life coach of sorts for a minute there too. She'd get in her moods or whatever. If I'm not connecting with her, it's not happening there either. Hey Rocky, you want to come give Jasmine a bass lesson? And she'd be grouchy and I don't want a bass lesson. When Rocky there, 10 minutes in, she's cool.
Yeah, of course.
They're having fun.
Because it's not you and it's not her mom.
Yeah. Parenting 101, man. Realize that you're not going to be able to do it all, and figure out the people that are going to be able to do it, what you can't do.
Yeah.
And Rocky was good at that one.
Well, we're going to wrap this up so I can get you on your way. But it's important. I need you guys to get out and check out Maximum Friction. For years we've been saying I've had them with us at Earl's. We've seen them take over opening duties at OCC Roadhouse. They've been up at Good Times in Orlando. They're playing Cody River Bike Fest. They've played with Nico McBrain. They have played with Joey Belladonna. They
played Heaven and Hell with Vinny Appice on drums.
Yeah, I mean, it's like cool. When I tell you that these kids are years beyond many of the local musicians, I mean it. And this is one of the parents behind the kids, and it's important if you have a kid that has the talent and the desire. It's important that you foster that, because Music creation is changing, and kids are not into it like they were, and which means that future generations are going to be lost to AI music, and it can't be that way.
I do have to point. We have before we go, we've talked about the 16 to 26 demographic. That's kind of what is being looked for these festivals, that we're putting together. So there's some other good kids out there too.
There are a lot of good kids.
A lot of good under 20. Reverse Oreo has been friends with us for a while. They kind of spawned in my back. Well, there's 3 guys that did a talent show. Jasmine wanted a band to play at her party, amongst others, and Zach said, "Well, I was putting mine together. It's not there yet." So but we had fun with this thing, Reverse Oreo. I said, "Well, bring Reverse Oreo over," and they did. And 2 years later, they're still a band.
Oh,
so
that's great.
Very organic.
Yeah.
You got the Unravel kids down south. They're pretty good. I think some have opened up for you over at Cagney's.
Visions of Venus. We had Visions of Venus. Well, they moved to...
they moved, yeah.
Yeah, she moved to Europe to go to school for music. And the parents went with her. That's another group of parents that were very supportive of their children.
Well, Kaylee filled in. Anton wasn't available for one of our gigs at OCC, and Kaylee came and learned not knowing how to play the music they were playing.
Yeah,
she filled in really good.
She and her parents. Patrick was her student for quite a number of years.
I think that's what we said.
She was Patrick's student.
She said, "I'm not really good at double kick." By the end of that show, everybody was telling her she was really good at double kick.
She was really good at double kick.
Yeah, you're Patrick's student. You're good at double kick.
You're good at double kick.
We knew that.
I agree.
So yeah, we plan on putting some more of those festivals together. So for the kids, they don't have a lot of outlets.
They don't have any outlets, man. There's that's why I love that Victor has given the kids the opportunities that he has, because there aren't a lot of opportunities. Especially there aren't a lot of opportunities even for adult bands that are leaning more towards an original aspect. Like Karen is changing that. That was the Wednesdays at Good Times.
Yep.
Karen Laser's pulling that stuff off. And that's actually good, providing that people get behind it. It's original music has always been hard, and I think now it's harder than it has ever been.
I think you got to mix up covers in it.
Yeah, or I'm just an old man, and I I was doing some reading last night because I was considering starting a TikTok for the band, and then I'm thinking, I don't need another goddamn social media platform. As it is, I barely use Instagram. I'm like Facebook only because that's my age demographic.
That's kind of what I told them as they're trying to take some stuff over. I'm saying, take Instagram for the love of God.
Yeah, take it. I don't understand fucking Instagram, so I'm going to throw up a couple of pictures, but I do that on Facebook, so why do I need,
The demographic for Facebook's 45 to 60 that you're in.
That's right.
And Maxwell plays a lot of that songs from that demographic, so I'm able to communicate on that level with everybody. I'm like, Instagram, though, you guys aren't getting Instagram. Jaden, you guys need to talk to everybody. I can't do this.
I'm telling you, I think Zuckerberg is missing out on a shitload of money by not having musician-centric pages where bands could put up music and sell music, and then he could take a portion of it. And there's a whole missed out opportunity in Facebook for musicians, ways for Facebook to make money from musicians.
He does. They take money if you place an ad. They get a fee.
Yeah,
right?
they take the money as they place the ad. But back in the day, like when my band had a MySpace page, I could upload songs that people could download. So if Facebook was smart, because they've created, there's 8 million people a day or something on Facebook on an average day. If they were smart, they would figure out a way to take it away from Spotify by allowing artists to have a professional page where I could put up my music, I could sell my music, while I'm also doing all the same promoting and shit. The way that Facebook is created is they want people to stay on it. So they reward you for being able to keep people on their platform for longer periods of time. That's the true goal. The true goal is They want their numbers to show that you were on Facebook for an average of 6 hours out of a day. Well, now if they can take that data and sell that data, okay, well, 1.5 million of our people are on Facebook, for 6 hours a day. Well, now they can use that to leverage the price of what an ad is going to cost for the bigger companies that you see advertising on there. Whereas you and I, we're thinking about boosting an ad at $100 at a time. They're boosting $1,000, $20,000 on an ad, or that's why it's able to reach the people that it needs to reach. And we have to, go in there and try to create the ad boost and, refine it so you properly reach the amount of people, and there's nobody teaching people how to use it. So it's kind of a crap game. You go and you waste $200 trying to figure it out, and then you finally think you figured it out, and then they change the algorithm, and now you got to refigure out your whole strategy.
I'll do an ad, and then I go try to look and see I set it up, and I think it's going to the right people, and sometimes you look, and I'm not sure that's...
Yeah,
you should be looking at this ad.
Or, you say, you set it up and it'll tell you, your budget, if your budget is $50, you'll reach, 1.7 thousand people a day. No matter how many times I've placed ads, it has never actually reached the amount of people that it says it's going to reach per day. It either reaches less or more, but never the amount. If you're going to tell me I could reach up to 1.4 thousand people a day, then deliver it to 1.4 thousand people a day. Don't tell me it could. Just do it. They have the ability to make it happen. Sell me a click. Tell me how much money is it going to cost me to definitely get this in front of 20,000 people. Then I'm going to purchase. I would spend more money on it if I knew that I could say, I want 20,000 fucking people in Florida who like outdoor music to see this. Guarantee it. You need to guarantee it to me. That's the problem that I have with Facebook, because there's no guarantee.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
And I've spent a lot of money on advertising, and I get, you get no guarantee. It's always just it's kind of like you're gambling. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then sometimes weird shit happens, like that fucking video. We have a video of us playing at Cagney's. You were there that night.
Yeah,
and
I was
that
singing
fucking
along.
thing's like 400,000 views.
Is it that many now?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I don't get it. I don't understand why that one. It's never been boosted. I don't know why the one. There's 2 or 3 up there that are over the 300,000 mark, but I don't understand why they do what they do.
The maximum got one that's dang near 200,000.
Yeah.
Same thing. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Just did.
It just somehow caught something in the algorithm. And what I would like to know is why. Tell me why, so I can reproduce that, because I will spend more money if I know that I can reproduce 300,000 views.
Go get that guy you were saying knows all the AI. Maybe he knows how to
Tom, yeah.
There's got to be guys out there that hack the algorithms and use it for financial gain.
There's bands. There are bands. There's local bands. One of these days I'm going to start calling out these fucking bands. There's local bands that have purchased followers. So when you go on their page and you see that they got 60,000 followers, they don't really have 60,000 followers. And you can tell that they don't have 60,000 followers because when they play, 10 people show up, but yet they got, thousands of followers on their thing, and it's clear you purchased it. It becomes the same way when sometimes you see local bands and you say to yourself, how the fuck did they get on a festival tour? Nobody shows up when they play a local gig, but they got on this massive festival tour. It's because they bought their placement on there. And people don't realize that kind of shit goes on. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the business, and you don't actually get to see the smoke and mirrors until you're on the other side of it.
And then you start seeing more and more and more.
Well, and then what ends up happening is you see the smoke and mirrors, and you realize that some of these people made it to their positions relying on smoke and mirrors, and you get angry because you didn't. You did it all organically and naturally. You sang every line, you played every instrument, you performed in 97 degree heat. You did all these fucking things you did naturally and organically, and there's this dude's fucking cheating and he's making millions, and you're like, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to life ain't fair.
That's right. Life ain't fair. Get out and go see Maximum Friction. Thank you, Doug, for coming and sitting with me today, but most importantly for fostering Jazz's ability, because
it honestly takes a village, man. If it wasn't for people like you and Pooch and all these guys I've met and become friends with over the years, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. We love you, Jazz. And all of Maximum Friction. Great band, great kids, great parents. Get out, come check them out. When you see them opening for the Shovelheads and for the Joey Belladonnas and the Nico McBrains and all these people, get out. There's a reason why, because they are a cut above the rest, and they're just fucking kids. So please get out and go see them and support them. I want to see them. I want to see them own Florida someday.
That'd be cool.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
All right.
Tell me all those dirty, dirty secrets.